advising clients across the country. Here he is, your host, J. Christopher Boyd.
Well, welcome, Nicole. Thanks for being here. It's great to have you back.
Thank you. It's so glad. I can't believe we're here already, but I'm so glad to be back. Thanks for having us.
Well, this weekend, Incredible is one of the big fundraisers for Heroes in Transition. Your brainchild. How many years ago was the original?
It was in 2016 where we actually ran from Ground Zero to Cape Cod. And shortly after that, we decided to do it through all 15 towns on the Cape the following year. So
it's been a little bit.
8 years and counting. So
that's terrific. So now, tell everyone a little bit about it. So you said you run through all the towns. How's it work?
When this began, we talked about just now going from Ground Zero to the Cape Cod. Army Sergeant Ray Regan had reached out to me. I'd known him through the Falmouth Road Race, and he said, "Are you interested in raising some funds for Heroes in Transition?" He knew I worked there, and I said, "Yeah, well, absolutely." And he's like, "Well, you're crazy enough to do a ruck race from New York to Cape Cod." And I said, "Well, you came to the right place." And the board took it as a beta team that we did. We raised a small amount of money at that time, not small, $33,000. We brought a small team, and we realized at that time after we came over the bridge, which was closed, and the Bourne Bridge, it was an amazing event. We realized we should do this in our backyard. So Steve and I actually were able to kind of take that to the next level, bring in some wonderful community members. And it's been Heroes in Transition's largest fundraiser since. And
amazing.
It really is.
So how does the fundraising element of it work? So throughout the next few days or 2 days, we're going to have runners running throughout the night. All day on Friday and throughout the night again and on Saturday, huh?
You are 100% correct. We have 12 teams this year, 3 brand new teams that have never done this before. So basically you have 7 runners per team and 2 drivers per team. And we have 2 night support runners if the teams are interested in bringing those men and women along. And basically what you're doing is we start at the courtyard. Actually tonight, we'll have the teams meet at 11:30 and we start at the wee hours of Friday morning running every 2 to 4 miles for 200 miles from one end of the Cape to the other and back to Mashpee, where we finish at Cape Cod Coffee at 1:30 on Saturday.
So about the time this show is airing, people will be coming in on Route 130 at Cape Cod Coffee. That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely. We're hoping, actually, by the time this airs, we're hoping to all be done and just enjoying some music. Jeff, I hear that laughter. Enjoying some music. And, I can't say enough about our sponsors. Cape Cod Coffee has done our finish line for quite some time now. We're going to take over the Route 130 finish line there. And, like you said, at this time, I think everyone will be tired and ready just to celebrates the word.
Yeah. Jeff,
Nicole,
you've been through this before, right?
I have. And I wanted to frame that in a question that may not be coming out yet. Nicole, why? So why this race? Why in this configuration? You haven't mentioned the backpacks. Which is a big part of it.
Tell what's happening. Yeah, good point. This is not just a road race.
It's not just a fundraiser, right? So what are you trying to do?
So I'm a civilian, and we have a lot of civilians that take part in this event. The organization that we raised money for, Heroes in Transition, is a nonprofit that assists veterans and military families. When we started this event, we wanted to be different. We wanted not just to be another race, another event. So we really wanted to support the men and women of the military that go through so much. So that 10 or 20 pounds we have on our back for this entire weekend is really symbolic of the hardships that our men, women, and military families face. It is grueling. You don't sleep. You kind of can't figure out when to eat. Jeff, chime in here at any time because you've done this.
Yeah, you don't feel very good in the middle of that second night.
No.
So just how many people are on a team? Just let's start with that.
Yeah.
Just 8, something like that.
7 runners.
7 runners.
2 drivers.
So now let's focus on the runners, although the drivers probably keep awake. But okay, so depending on their height or weight? Which it's weight, right?
It's weight. Under 160 pounds. They're 10 pounds over 160. They're 20 pounds on their back.
Okay. So they're dealing with 10 or 20 pounds on their back.
Mm-hmm.
And each person runs 2 to 4 miles at a time. Mm-hmm. They trade off with another member of their team, climb in the van. Mm-hmm. And now, meanwhile, looks like we might have rain over the next couple of days. There's going to be some, it's going to be chilly at times in the middle of the night, right? Mm-hmm. It's not all going to be fun and games.
Which is very common for this race for some reason.
We make it as hard as we possibly can.
It just seems to rain.
And then you add all these obstacles into it as well.
We didn't see. I'm trying to get people to enjoy this thing for next year, but yes, you're right. It's miserable. Weather. We have 3 team challenges along the way. We climb the P-Town Monument. We also are at the Chatham Lighthouse, where we carry a 300-pound leader all the way around. And then we finish at the boardwalk to do some fun boardwalk at the boardwalk events, where you're actually walking with your teammates, trying to move one leg in front of the other leg and trying to get from one end of the boardwalk to the other.
The boardwalk in Sandwich.
Yeah. It's absolutely grueling. I mean, there is no other word.
After people have had limited sleep, as it turns, I mean, people can't sleep at the van, but there's not.
No, you can't. You can't sleep. You're stopping every half hour.
Every so many minutes. People are jumping in and out. Yeah.
Trying to eat, trying to use the restroom. There's no sleep.
No. We've had people, and we can say this, we've had retired military say this is one of the hardest events they have done since they've been in. But they've also said it's brought them back to a place where they remember the camaraderie.
Yeah. And a real sense of team community.
That's the most important. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I've been in the vans, I've participated in this event, and it is one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it is definitely the most rewarding event that I've ever been a part of.
So tell us again how this raises money for the Heroes in Transition organization. Absolutely.
So we have a minimum fundraising for each team. Like we said, we have essentially 9 people on the team. Our 2 support runners also have come to be even more part of this team. Now they run anywhere from, 15 to 25 miles in the middle of the night. When Jeff was talking about that Friday night going into Saturday, you're literally mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted. And we're asking people to get out of the van at 2 a.m. on Friday when you haven't slept since Thursday. Those support runners really do stand beside them. They're making sure that they're taking the right turns and making sure that they're, not falling in a pothole, or it's the middle of the night. I mean, we're on night 2.
Yeah.
So those support runners. So we have 11 people per team that really focus on getting from the start to the finish. And the drivers, again, like we can't do this without the drivers as well. Those are the people that keep you going all night.
What about injuries? I imagine just all those people running, there's bound to be some injuries, twist your ankle in a pothole or something, right?
Yeah, been there, done that. And I'm sure everyone else has had an injury of some sort. Alicia Markowski, who was on our board for years, she's one of the most amazing PTs that I know. And she really has taken this as her own. And she was with us in New York, and she's created this amazing team of PTs. Bob from Cape Coastal PT. We have so many people out there that are helping us. And they are literally out there day and night just to help out. Issues. Yeah. It's one of those things where injuries do happen. And
yeah, it's a natural, you'd expect, some of this.
If you have a team that goes down a runner, you still have to do legs.
Right.
You go down to 6. It's kind of like the military, just the way it is. You figure it out.
Very good. So each team has a minimum fundraising, and then you said you have sponsors as well. Tell us a little bit about the uses of the funds. What it is that the organization Heroes in Transition does for our veterans and the military community, their families, and so forth.
Absolutely. So at this time when this airs, we'll have hopefully all finished and be sitting at the finish line or standing or trying to stay awake.
Feel free to go down to Route 130.
Absolutely. We'll be there till about 5 o'clock. And we right now on Thursday, as we talk about this, we're at the $140,000 mark. Our goal is $225,000. And honestly, Heroes in Transition doesn't have federal funding. So
people sometimes think veterans organizations might get federal funding or something. It's all private donations.
Well, our organization does rely on private donations, sponsorships, and grants. So anyone that's interested, our funding goes directly to our programs. We run 13 programs. We're looking at a 14th right now. And those programs are really to serve the entire family we serve families, spouses, couples. We serve military, active, and retired. And basically what we do is try and do things that will keep that family unit together, strengthen relationships. We build bonds. We want to create, and we have created over the last 14 years, that feeling of family, camaraderie. And that is our biggest goal.
The other night when we were at the event to get ready for this, Christine, I don't know her last name, spoke. Mm-hmm. She was coordinating a lot of the efforts. What's her last name?
So it's Kristen and Ted Black, and they're our volunteer coordinators for the Ruck.
She said, I'm not a very good public speaker. And I don't know about you, but it seemed like she kind of got everyone emotional when she got choked up talking about how powerful the services of the organization had been in her own experience, and just how important they were and are. And I don't know, I got emotional just listening to her talk about it. That, it really comes across that the people who've been touched by this feel it deeply and are committed to trying to help further the impact of the organization, helping families, helping veterans in their reentry into civilian life.
Kristen and Ted have been through a lot as their family, as well as their family. And that's who we reach, and that's who we want to reach. So if there is anyone, listening tonight or today, this afternoon, that knows someone that's struggling, or that, might know of somebody that might want to, find more veterans that are out on the Cape, that are here, that might want to get together with other veteran families, please reach out to us. This is what we're here for. It's what we do. We have so many events. Like I said, we run 13 programs, from Equine Warrior, which is horsemanship, to our couples retreats, to our family programs. We do something, but basically we're running a program 4 times a month.
Jeff, we all give lip service to how we support our veterans and how important they are to us as, Americans, that we have patriotic pride. And here's an organization that's dedicated to having a favorable impact on helping veterans. It's an example of how, locally we can have an impact. We can make a difference, and we can support our veterans and their families and that community.
Roger that. If you've ever been to, if you haven't been to the Ruck, or you haven't been to their gala, it's really tough to describe the meaningful impact that they have on our returning veterans. Especially, I know you don't target any specific age of veteran, but there's so many younger veterans who aren't maybe comfortable in the formal places that older veterans go, the VFWs, the American Legions. Those tend to be for the older gentlemen and ladies. But I see at your event so many Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans who don't tend to go to those fraternal organizations, and they're looking for a place to go to be with other veterans and to get the support services that they need. And this is just a wonderful organization that I'm happy to have supported. I've run the Ruck before, and Nicole's description is accurate. And we love the gala and all that you do. They're meaningful programs that are changing lives. And so if people are listening and looking for an organization to support, this is the one. It's right on Cape Cod. It's founded by a Gold Star mother, Cindy Jones, in honor of her son, Captain Eric Jones. There's no better organization to support if you believe that our veterans need a little bit of extra helping hand outside of the governmental services. So check us out. How do they do that, Nicole? How do people support you?
Tell us about the way to spend the money.
Well, thank you for that, Jeff. And I know that you've been a part of us for a long, long time, and we appreciate that more than you know, as has Chris and Kristen and AMR, there are just so many people. And that's the thing. We're all part of this. And, any donation helps. You can go right on to our website at heroesintransition.org. There's a donate button there. You can reach out if you want to volunteer, or you want to help, you want to hear more about our programs. We have a lot of information on our website. So please visit us there.
Well, good luck over the next couple of days. Hope it's a huge success. And we'll see you. We'll be doing one of the stations. I don't know whether that's exchanges.
Can't wait to see you.
And we'll be celebrating with you on Saturday afternoon.
We appreciate everything, and thanks so much.
You're listening to Something More with Chris Boyd, Financial Talk Show.
Asset Management Resources, LLC, and J. Christopher Boyd, CFP, provide investment advice on an individual basis to clients only. Proper advice depends on a complete analysis of all facts and circumstances. The information given on this program is in the nature of general financial comments and cannot be relied upon as pertaining to your specific situation. AMR, LLC cannot guarantee that using the information from this show will generate profits or ensure freedom from loss. Listeners should consult their own financial advisors or conduct their own due diligence before making any financial decisions.